Some young men came and forcibly took me to their house. They said they had married me. I had never seen them before.
It is 10:30 a.m. and I have come with Awal Ahmed to the Navrongo police station here in the Kasna-Nankana East municipality of the Upper East region. Awal works with the Rural Initiatives for Self-Empowerment, RISE Ghana, a poverty alleviation-centered NGO based in the Upper East region. Today, Awal and his NGO are trying to rescue a 14-year-old girl from some people who want to take her away to be given as a wife to a young man against her will. Awal had already laid a complaint here at the Navrongo police station and has come today to get an officer to accompany him to the village of Naga to help rescue and protect the young girl. To be able to get a true picture of how urgently Awal will be attended to by the police, considering the serious nature of the case at hand, I wait in his car and observe while recording with my camera as he goes through processes to get an appointed officer to go with us. The process takes more than an hour of going back and forth from one office to the other within the police station. At some points, Awal looked frustrated. After about an hour and 10 minutes, 2 officers are finally assigned to go with us, but not in a police vehicle. We go in Awal's car. The journey from Navrongo to Naga is a long, bumpy drive.
Okay. And the red house, yes. You can see the paint. So we can park across over there. Okay.
A little over an hour later, we arrive at Naga and to the house where this young girl, who just escaped from what would have been a forced marriage, lives with her family. Alice, as we have chosen to call her, is 14 years old. Her feminine features are not yet so visible. The innocence on her face and the shyness with which she narrates her story to JoyNews prove only one thing. Alice is a child, and there is nothing about her that should make any man want to take her as a wife. But when Alice paid her elder sister a visit at Du in the northern region, she was forcibly taken by some unknown men to a house where she was being held, ostensibly because she had been taken in marriage.
We came back from the farm and heard that someone was launching his music. So my elder sister and I went to the venue. While we were there, some young men came and forcibly took me to their house. They said they had married me. I had never seen them before.
Alice was made to return to her sister's house the very day she was taken. This was because she refused to eat anything her abductors gave her. After moving back to her sister's house, Alice knew that she was no longer going to be subjected to the ordeal of living as a wife at that tender age. But that was not to be. A few days later, Alice was taken again by these same young men when she went to fetch water from the community borehole. This time, the escape was easy because the man who had been asked to keep an eye on her was asleep. She ran back to her sister's house and immediately packed the few clothes she had and ran back to Naga where she had come from. But Alice's troubles were still far from over because her abductors would not so easily give up.
They came here and said they had spoken to the chief and he gave them permission to come for me because I don't go to school and I am not married. According to them, the chief said he will send someone to come and talk to my mother so they can take me away. I have since become afraid because I don't want to marry anyone.
Alice's father died and her mother had to run with the children back to Naga because they were being maltreated by her husband's family. The situation has made Alice and her mother more like troubled people in a strange land without much help. Alice's uncle wants to help protect his sister and her child, Alice, but he is afraid that he might not be able to fight the village authority all by himself.
He and the husband, they were still at the south. Unfortunately, all the family, the household, there's nobody there to take care of her. So she come back here to stay with me.
After the husband?
The husband, the parents, there's nobody in the house again.
Okay. What happened to them?
They died.
Including the husband?
The husband's father, everybody.
Okay, so she was alone there?
She was alone there,
okay.
And people there were disturbing her. So she decided to come and stay with me here.
Okay. What can you do as the head of the family to help?
Yeah, what we can do, in our community here, you know, whatever chief says, people, me like this, I will not accept it. But you don't know, whatever be, in case the other people who is behind me, I don't know between they and the chief. So the only thing is that as the NGO has come in, and then if you are from here, then maybe you can interrupt him with one or two things and tell him the dangers of that girl. You are on it.
The chief of Naga, Naba Orlando Awuni, is a well-respected man who has recently been elected as president of the Upper East Regional House of Chiefs. We visited him at his palace to get his side of the story on the same day we spoke to Alice and her family. Naba Awuni declined to speak on camera, explaining that on that particular day that we visited him, he was making sacrifices ahead of an important journey and he was not even seeing visitors, let alone grant interviews. He, however, explained that the issue of Alice's abduction and attempted forced marriage had been brought to his attention. He added that he was being very cautious in handling the matter because the incident occurred at Du, which is in the northern region, and so not under his jurisdiction. He also said he had bylaws against forced and child marriages in his community and would not support any such act. But because Alice is originally from another village, which makes her not a direct subject of his, care had to be taken in handling the case, and that was exactly what he was trying to do. Sergeant Ladi Aso, the police officer who was assigned to go with us, then requested of Naba Awuni to assist the police in dealing with the matter, to which he agreed. Awal Ahmed, through his organization, Rise Ghana, then filed an official complaint at the Navrongo police station to ensure that the matter is fully resolved.
Of child marriages and abductions like this are very common in these parts of our region, as you saw, but the challenge is that trying to resolve these issues has a lot of barriers, from the fact that the people are ignorant and also the fact that our laws do not seem to work in harmony with our existing traditional systems. Whereas we will expect some of the traditional rulers to be open and supporting some of these issues, some of them tend to be ignorant or some of them tend to deliberately thwart efforts. And you realize that the community that we went to, Naga, is so far from the district police station, which is Navrongo, and so the incentive for communities to even report and the ability of the police to respond rapidly to issues like that is very difficult. So you realize that because of issues like that, some of the girls rather suffer in silence when they are abused. Some of the families also fear the fact that they can be attacked when they follow up on these issues and try to report. So the challenge with this is that going forward, we must try as much as possible as civil society, build our networks together, come together and work in close collaboration with the traditional authorities, the state institutions, the Ghana Police Service, the BOFU and the rest. And I must say that it will not take only these two institutions to be able to create a protective environment for children. You realize that the presence of the media when we went there in the community today sent a very strong signal to the traditional authority that beyond the police and beyond Rise Ghana as an NGO and other civil society organizations, the media is interested in these issues. And it's when we take up these issues and let it go out and the whole world understand that people will really know.
Alice has returned to school. She is still in primary 6, but she cannot be sure that there will be no repeat of what she went through. Meet Lamisi, not her real name, another victim of forced marriage. Lamisi is from the village of Kolgo, about an hour's drive from the Upper East Regional capital, Bolgatanga. Lamisi is only 15 years old, and just like Alice, she too has already gone through the ordeal of fighting off a forced marriage.
My mother sent me to take something and go and give to my auntie. And when I give the things to my auntie and I was going home, some guy said I should let her take me and I'll go and I'll agree and the guy take me and go to some guy's house. I don't know the boy.
At age 14, Lamisi was one day sent on an errand by her mother. On the way back, an unknown man riding a motorcycle approached her and offered to give her a lift back to her house. Innocent Lamisi accepted the offer, but the man, instead of taking her home to her mother, took Lamisi to his own house and detained her. He then sent word to Lamisi's family offering to pay her bride price, but Lamisi's mother fiercely resisted the move. Lamisi is now back in school and is concentrating on her studies. Unlike Alice and Lamisi, Christy was not so lucky. At age 14, Christy had already given birth. She tells me how it happened.
I'm 90 years from now, but the time that I gave birth, I was 40 and I gave birth. But it's actually this year that I got married. This year. Actually, I was forced because although I was starting with the guy, we do chat. And then one day during this politics, and then I went there for the politics sign. And from there I was kidnapped by them. And that's where I was forced to marry the guy.
So are you still married to him, or you've left?
We left.
How did you leave?
Okay. Let's say when they kidnapped me, my father came there and then they refused to give me out to my father. And then later my father went to the thief. He came to the school before going to the thief palace, and then they all came together. The teachers and my father came together. They all went to the thief palace, and then the thief asked me, is it my school that I want, or I want the man that I married? And then I choose the school. And that's where we left.
Christy is now 19 years old, and having experienced motherhood for 5 years already, she has now decided to go back to school. She has joined the Naga GHS2 class to prepare for her basic education certificate exams.
The reason why I'm here because I want to make something out of my life, and being in the house will not benefit me making something out of my life. And that's why I'm here, and I'm bothered to be here because let's say the time that I was in the house, when I saw people going coming to school whilst I'm in the house, it do pain me. And then I want to aim something out of it.
Often when girls are married off, their academic dreams are also cut off. In the stories shared in this documentary so far, the girls end up either becoming mothers at tender ages or just have their schooling painfully disrupted and eventually destroyed. However, not all girls being subjected to the ordeal of forced marriage will allow it to snuff out their dreams. Amina is one of them. Just like Christy, Amina is a victim of forced marriage. At age 15 and in primary school class 6, Amina was already married off because she got pregnant for a young man who was financially supporting her since she was an orphan and did not have anyone to support her education.
I was in class 6 and I was from the one guy who used to take care of me when I was in class because I don't have parents in the house, so that was what happened in the.
After nursing her child for 4 years, Amina has now also decided it is time to pick up the pieces and move on. So, rather than stay married, she has come back to school here at the Naga Junior High School. Just after my interview with Amina, Becky arrives on a bicycle. She has come to talk to the headmaster of the Naga Junior High School so she can be readmitted into school to continue her education. Becky got pregnant and had a child at age 16, so she was forced to truncate her education. She shyly tells me it was all a mistake.
My reasons for coming back to school is that the school is not good to me. The school is not good to me to come back.
At 19, Becky believes she can still further her education. She is determined to do just that, and that is why she is seeking to be readmitted into junior high school. Christy, Amina, and Becky, by going back to school, have all had another opportunity to get back on the right path to a bright future. The story, however, does not look same for 17-year-old Lariba. At age 14, Lariba was in primary school class 6, but made a decision to leave school. She said this was because she felt she did not know anything in class. Shortly after leaving school, she got married and got a child barely before she was 16. Lariba tells Hotline she was not forced into the marriage, but now life is too hard for her. She can barely afford soap to wash her baby's clothes when they are dirty, and the man she is married to is unemployed and not so supportive of her. She is now compelled to come back to the very school she left 3 years ago, this time not to get educated, but to sell locally made pastries, kuli and nkati cake to the pupils who would have been her juniors if she had stayed in school. I ask her how this situation makes her feel, and Lariba bursts into tears.
Every girl should concentrate on their education so that they will not end up like me.
According to the 1992 Constitution, the legal age for consent to sexual intercourse in Ghana is 16, and the legal age for marriage is 18. All the girls interviewed for this documentary were married off or became pregnant when they were still minors. This state of affairs will only fester because in this part of Ghana, child marriage seems to be a norm. It is largely spawned by the high incidence of poverty here in Kolgo and Naga. Headmaster of the Naga Primary School, Jonathan Azibayele, has been here for 3 years now and shares his observations of the trend.
Forced marriages, in other words, marriage by elopement, is a very serious case in this village, not only my school. Girls got married at the age of some 13, 14, 15 and 16. You've never recorded a marriage of even 18 years. All the marriage cases are below the age of 18.
How long have you been headmaster in this school? And how many examples of cases of children who were in school that got married did you see within
Yes.
this period?
I am in my 3rd year.
Okay.
And since then up to now, I have about 9 cases of child marriages.
And you were forced to make a report to your superiors. Tell us about that.
Yes, I have no other words than to make a report to my director and then that of girl child education. So when I wrote that letter, I forwarded it to my security supervisor. He endorsed and then told me that I should go and give it to my director. So I went and then they said I should give it to a girl child. So I did that. So I even copied the chief of this village. I also copy the assemblyman of Naga. But it's like it was only the girl child that gave a threat to one marriage.
The 9 cases of child marriages Mr. Azibayele witnessed involved girls at the Naga Primary School alone over the 3 years that he has been head of the school. At the Naga Junior High School, where we met Christy, Amina, and Becky, Hotline discovered that there had been 12 cases of child marriages and pregnancies in that school alone within 2 years. Jonathan Azibayele says reducing poverty could help address this situation.
This is a village. When a boy promises a girl of a fool, she is easily lured. So one of the things is just the mobile phones. Even I've been seeing phones in my school. So one thing is the mobile phones. As I'm talking, if you get to the junior high, where there are matured girls, I just got in touch with him. He said he had 11 cases for only last academic year. That was 2015.
These were girls who were still in junior high
yes,
school.
Yes, in junior high
who married
school.
And left the
yes,
school.
They married and left. Anytime they are going to write the BEC, either 4 or 5 girls will go and say they be pregnant. So for other schools, the case is even worse.
The Upper East region is said to be the 2nd poorest region in Ghana according to the Safe Ghana Living Standards Survey. For rural areas like Kolgo and Naga, where these girls live, poverty is high, and a girl's bride price, if paid, could be a fortune for some families here. On the other hand, if a girl is impregnated, her family would rather let her be a burden on the family of the man who got her pregnant instead of keeping her at home. So they would marry her off without thinking twice about the implications on the girl. All these come down to the same reason: poverty. Nchobila Ayamga is a father who had to make the painful decision to allow his daughter get married to a man who got her pregnant. 2 years ago, his daughter, who was 16 years old at the time, ran away with a man who claimed he had married her. But Mr. Ayamga would not take it and reported the matter to the police.
When we went to the police station, they told the man that my daughter was too young to get married and ordered him to let her return home. They even wanted me to press charges against him and have him locked up, but I was not interested in that. All I wanted was for my daughter to come back and return to school.
But his daughter was stubborn, and so after returning home, she kept sneaking out to see the man despite all his efforts to stop her. Mr. Ayamga says he did not allow his daughter to get married for any financial gains. He did it to avoid the embarrassment of keeping a daughter who had had a child out of wedlock. But it is also a decision he regrets every day because his daughter keeps coming back to him for money because her husband is not taking good care of her.
I never gave her any chance to go loitering about in the village. On one occasion, I beat her up when I found out she had sneaked out and gone to see the man.
So balala ingela ina biyala se ba panse eme ko zon se ta ko yete nawla nding me yita ilma mom do em bat na be ja hata iti aita en sela ka am.
But that did not deter her. Eventually she got pregnant for the man and he came and offered to pay her bride price. So I thought that, well, I had done my best as a poor man who wanted the best for his daughter. But since she defied every disciplinary measure I took to protect her and went ahead to get pregnant, I had no option but to allow her get married.
What these girls here at Kolgo and Naga are going through could well be a reflection of what many girls of their age in obscure Ghanaian communities are facing. According to the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, any marriage involving children of less than 18 years old constitutes a child marriage. Statistics show that in Ghana, 1 in 4 girls will be married before their 18th birthday, with the Upper East region having the highest prevalence rate of child marriages of at least 39%. Upper East Regional Director of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, lawyer Abdullahi Jalaldeen, believes the issue of child marriages in the region currently could be more serious than it is thought to be.
In regards to child marriage in the Upper East region, I will say it is very serious. I must confess that we do not do any scientific survey on this matter. But our visit to communities on public education, our interaction with community elders and members of the various communities, we come to realize that it is serious. Because almost everybody that will ask a question during our educational program will be asking us what we can do to curb child marriage. Either the person is having 3 girls in his house, 2 of them are either married out, or all of them are married out before the age of 18. So that suggests that it is a serious problem. Not only for us that we are discussing it, but parents are equally concerned. And almost every district in the Upper East region.
He adds that under the current Ghanaian dispensation, the penalty for men who break the law by marrying or having sexual relations with minors is not punitive enough.
See, this example that we have given with regards to Naga, a headmaster going to the school for 3 years and he has observed 11 cases. In the other community, you are talking of 12 cases. That is within 3 years. That is one community within a particular district. Not even 2 communities, 1 community. So if we can get at least 11 cases in 1 community, that is a serious problem. But when we come back to the law, the Children Act provides that if you marry or you go against the Children's Act, especially when it comes to child marriage, you have committed an offense. And that offense, you can be imprisoned for 1 year, or you can be fined for 500 Ghana cedis, or all 5 million. So for me, this punishment is not punitive enough.
For now, girls like Lariba and the many girls who may be in her kind of situation may have to suffer in silence and wait for traditions to change, wait for authorities like the Ghana Police Service to be strengthened enough to be easily accessible to every Ghanaian, wait for change. From Kolgo and Naga in the Kasna-Nankana municipality of the Upper East region, Albert Sori, reporting for Hotline.